Hey, it's Tamara. I'm going to make a video here on showing you how to do this chevron variation. There are other patterns that have this chevron, but most of them I found are 12 strings. I haven't found any 14 strings for whatever reason. So I just followed that same pattern idea and added another color. So what you're going to want to do is set up whatever color stripes you want on the one side, and then whatever neutral color you're picking for the other side. My neutral is black, and these will come, they'll be like, this will be your chevron stripes, and then they'll switch and switch and switch all the way down. So first one you're gonna do, just like a normal chevron, you're start on the outside and bring it in with forward knots. And you just do that all the way across. This part's it's just like a normal chevron. And really, chevrons you don't need a pattern for anyway. The way I think about them is that every chevron stripe in this is paired up with the neutral color on the other side. So like this darker gray is paired up with this black on the outside, right? Like that's your same matching. So that's gonna come together and then all the way down for all of your colors. Sorry, these grays are a little similar because I've run out of the gray I used before, and we are in pandemic times. So I'm not going to the store to get more gray. I'm a little sad about it because it was a really fantastic gray color. Okay, so the way I like to segment knot, so I do all of my one first before I do all of the others. So I'm going to do all of these stripes. Before I start with the blacks. Sorry if you're not faster than I do. This is as fast as I knot. This is as good as it gets. Like you have to really like making friendships bracelets to keep making them because they take a lot of time. I'm going to do the pink one, and then I'm going to switch over to the black and just show you how it's going to go, just so you have a good feel for how the rest of it's going to go. Because the only other part that's a little tricky is then when you switch places with the colors. The rest of it's pretty simple. Simple, yet it looks really cool in the end, which is always my favorite kind. Okay, so now the black, just going to do the same way, the furthest one out into the center. But when I reach the color, when I reach this gray, the gray is going to be the one that goes on top, because that's the color you're highlighting. It doesn't really matter, you can do it a different way, but then your pattern won't look, your bracelet won't look quite the same. It would look a little different. So since I want to highlight the color in the stripes, the demi-girl colors here, I'm going to make it the more dominant of the two. usually don't start bracelets this way. I usually start them with a straight edge. This always makes me nervous to start it this way. Like, I feel like it's not gonna look as nice and sharp as I like it. But I'm really bad at knowing what patterns look like at the start if I'm doing it myself without a pattern. So this is what I got. Okay, so this is all of them across. So where they meet in the middle now, I'm just gonna take the gray, the darker gray. I'm just gonna make sure it's the one that's knotted on top with the black that it lines up with. Make sure it doesn't look too janky when I bring them together. Ah, there's a gap there a little bit. Oh well. Anyway, so that's how it's gonna come together. And then this black's gonna go all the way across with all the colors. So with these are the two we got. And pink. All right. Not super thrilled with that first knot. I've got a little gap there. But that's how it goes all the way across. So you're gonna bring all these over and all those, and I'll do a second video and show you how you're gonna switch them once you've got all of your colors made. Okay, so again, this one we're making, I switched the order I had them on, which the side they had them on. So it's like I started on this side with the dark gray, and that row's already finished. I brought those together. I'm going to show you how the lighter gray comes into the next one. So these rows have to come all the way together, and you want that line to be really straight here. So it's each side is going to have 7 knots, 7 knots. So each color here, 7 knots. This one across though, sorry, that one's gonna have 6 knots across if you count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, because you want this one to have a little bit more weight than this side. So 7 knots of these, 6 knots of those. So this one has it. We got our 7 dark gray. We've got our 6 black. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only has 6. The 7th one comes when you bring them together. So, sorry about that. So this second row with the black knots, it's gonna go over the dark gray because that one's done. And we want that one to be black because it's gonna match up with the light gray. So now we have the light gray. The light gray is going to go over top of the black. And that's what's going to give it that straight edge as you come down. So we've already got the pink mostly out. The pink's going to go over that black as well. Sorry, I make my strings super long so they're all going crazy right now. And then this third row of blacks, black color, it's going to go over the dark gray. This is the third row that we want to match up with the pink, so it's over the dark gray. Goes over the light gray, and backward knot. And then it's only where it matches up with the pink that the pink is going to come over it. So now you see you've got your stripes, and it's just got a little bit more weight because it's the 7 knots as opposed to the 6. So if you can tell what the strings are doing now, they're basically going to switch places. You've now got your 4 black strings over here and your 4 colors over here, and they're all going to switch places by the time you're done doing this part of the process. all the colored strings will be over here and all the black strings will be over here. And that's just how it's going to go the entire time. That's how it switches places. Okay, so if you've done it right up to this point, this is what it's going to look like. Again, we've got 7 forward knots of the colors. We've got 6 backward knots of the blacks. And this is how it's going to match up with that straight line down the center for that finished product that we're going to get. So now if you notice, as you should, all the colors are swapped. So we start with the blacks over here. They're now all the way across. The colors are now all the way across here. So now, and notice this is just a normal chevron pattern, just all the colors are matched up with a black. So, and in a chevron, we've got your outside strings that will come into the middle. So that's all you're doing, just with a neutral color, the black, on the other side of the chevron. So at this point, you're just going to do it the same way. But now the 7 backward knots are going to come this way. And so it's just going to be all the same. 7 backwards knots, 6 forward knots. So the 6, 7. So it's just going to switch places all the way down. 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. All the way down your bracelet. So finish that knot. Sorry, I don't make videos professionally or anything. Like, this is this is as good as I get. I don't make bracelets professionally. I don't make videos of bracelets professionally. I like to do as few videos as possible in any capacity, let alone professionally. So forgive this being a little awkward. This is the part in the bracelet right here that I think always trips me up a little bit. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the gray, and it matches up with the last dark gray on the other side here. So at this point, I'm usually like, oh man, I screwed it up. But I didn't. It's just that's the only place where the color is going to match up with color instead of your neutral. And what that's going to do here, if you notice, it's the same thing. So it's going to make them overlap just a little bit so that we maintain the little bit of weighted emphasis on the color that we want instead of the black. So that's where you're making right there to go over. So now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, I'm wrong. That's just the 6, but it's going to go over, and then the black's going to come over to it. And that's going to be the 7th where it crosses the black. Again, I told you, this is the point of the bracelet where I'm like, I'm doing it all wrong, I think. Why didn't it come together? This is why I usually follow patterns instead of going my own way. Just psych myself out. Hopefully this helps you get a picture of what you're going for, though. This really is a very simple pattern, and if you do make a mistake, it should be pretty easy to fix and notice before you've gone too much further. It's not, you don't have to concentrate too hard except for a couple points. So here again, and if you do get tripped up, you can always just count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the color. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the black. That means the black is done, and we're going to bring the gray over the black. Okay, and that's the start of this next section. Right here. So, just do that all the way down your bracelet, and you should end up with this. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully that was clear enough. If there's anything that isn't clear to you, please let me know and I'll explain it as best I can. All right, thanks.